Ideas colliding, a vibrant display, a symphony of thoughts lighting the way through digital landscapes and starlit dreams, planting the seeds, it all gleams. Multiverse of minds, a boundless domain, innovations.
Good day, everyone. Welcome to MOM, that is the Multiverse of Minds podcast on the Faith Unfiltered show. So today I have with me Ifeoluwa Olubode.
Yes, very good. Hi guys. Hi.
Yeah, so
oh my god, thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
It's great to have you. So a little background. So I and Ife were in the same secondary school. I think that's high school. Yeah. So we basically we had our growing up experience together in the same school. So yeah, and now she's a chef. Honestly, if I was going to say I always saw it because she was always what's her name again? Mrs. Mrs. Adewumi and
I can't remember the other one.
yeah, the whole gang. I know she was. I think she was the food prefect. That was
Yes, I
another.
was.
She has always been in that direction in life. So today she's going to be talking to us about following your passion. As a Nigerian, we all know that in Nigeria it's not an easy thing to convince. So just first of all, who are you? Like, who is Ifeoluwa Olubode?
So who am I? That is actually a really deep question. But Ife is, I would love to say Ife is a very bold person. In terms of life in general, like as you saw, like us, me and you growing up, I've been always the type of person to, voice out who I like, what I wanted or what I wanted to see, regardless of, whether anybody, let's say our friends, our setmates, whether they saw me as a crazy person, which they probably did, but it's fine, it's whatever. But yeah, like I was actually thinking about this the other day actually, and I was like, all in all, like as much as Ifeoluwa means love of God, I wish like I also had a name that also like showed how bold I am through this journey of life. So I'll definitely say like Ifeoluwa is like bold, full stop. That's who Ifeoluwa is.
Yeah, but you can basically say that the love of God is bold because like God choosing who He shared that love to. Yeah, it's not an easy decision, So.
Exactly. Wow. Actually, yes. Oh my God. Literally, it is. The love of God is bold. To love other people too is also bold. So,
Why haven't you subscribed? Yes, you are still watching this video and you haven't subscribed. Why? Just tap the button. It's not that hard. Guy, now, tell me what's the problem? So just subscribe. Thank you.
Allah is love and she's bold. So. Oh my
Yeah, I feel that. So the whole shift from Nigeria to Canada. So like, just give us a little breakdown. Like, how was it for you personally?
It was, yeah.
Oh, sorry, did I mention? Yes, the twin. Yeah, I did not mention that too.
Yes,
so.
I am. I'm a twin. Okay, so the shift from Nigeria to Canada was definitely. It was at first like every Nigerian kid going abroad. I thought it was finally my escape from, a Nigerian household. But obviously coming here, I'm grateful that I didn't come here alone, but also like trying to navigate, the Canadian lifestyle, how things are run here, and like, seeing, because the thing about Canada is that everybody is like very outwards with their perspective. It's not like Nigeria where like, let me, keep my mouth shut. Everybody here voices their opinion. Exactly. So trying to also navigate that as well. And coming from Nigeria to Canada, honestly, like I was actually really excited to actually come and like, start my life. But it was kind of different from what I expected, because on social media you see a different thing, and like actually like coming here and it's like, oh my god, I have to navigate how to, start making new friends again with people from different cultures. Like we're talking this is a multicultural like community, and trying to also adjust, the way I play with my Nigerian friends is not the same way I will play with like my friends over here. It was so different, and nobody told me about that, so it was kind of shocking. I was excited, but I was also shocked. Like I was just like, oh wow, like y'all really roll differently over here. But without the help of God, honestly, like I would have, I don't even know what I would have done. It was just definitely God moving through me and telling me, hey, like this is, the person you talk to, this is how you talk to this person. So it was like it's like me going back to kindergarten, but like trying to learn how to like re-speak with different people, or like communicate with my teachers. Even the way they do assignments here is differently to me. It's just like I was just like I was literally learning how to adjust and relearn how to fit into society, but not fit into society per se, but stand out the way God wants me to stand out, or talk and communicate with people the way people will understand, but still showing that light of God through me, if that makes sense. But yeah.
So like, what were the value changes that you noticed? Like, because the lifestyle of a Nigerian is different from the lifestyle of a teenager in Canada.
So
like, were there any values that almost like that just got you like, what is this? Like,
oh my god, a lot. As I said here, everybody is very, outwards with what they feel. And look, I had to like dial down the Nigerian auntie in me and be like, you people, like the way people are moving mad still. But in terms of values, like I obviously kept my values, what I believed in. But again, I also learned how to respect other people's values and, like their culture, their lifestyle, or whatever. But in terms of values, like I would say, like with, how like Nigerians are very particular with like dressings and stuff like that. Here it's like, oh, it's free will, like you do whatever you want to. And it was kind of nice to see like different aesthetics in play. And honestly, low-key, me too, like coming here at the beginning, one thing I really wanted to try was like try different aesthetics for sure. So I wanted to be that emo kid, I wanted to be that fairy core aesthetic. I was just like, wow, this is like, like culture just bashing people. Like
I just got a flashback. I think there was a time where you had your hair somehow like very, I think
yes.
It was a stiff period.
Yes, oh my god. I was like, because again, like growing up, I wasn't like afraid to like, try different things or look a certain way, because I want to let me try looking this way for a day and see how I actually feel. And coming to an environment where their values are like basically do whatever you want to do. So my thing was like, okay, I'm gonna do what I want to do, but obviously as long as it aligns with God's purpose and stuff like that. So I was like, yo, God, I actually want to try, dressing up in all black today, or like dressing up like a fairy core kid or something like that. So it was kind of like seeing other people's values and appreciating it as well, but also seeing some people's values and being like, okay, I never want to have that impacted in my life ever. Like, you do you, boo. Like, support you from afar, but like that's not something I want for me personally. But
Yeah.
yeah, if that's the answer to that.
Okay, so if you guys want more from about Ifeoluwa's trip from Nigeria to Canada, I think it's still on her YouTube page. So you
Yes, it is.
can, I'll put the YouTube page down and everything. So you can just go there and subscribe. Of course, don't forget that. And share. So yeah. So on that note, let's get into it. Like following your passion. First of all, like what is like passion to you? Because some people can mix passion for just something that you just do, like,
Yeah.
and you see you're good at it, but it's not your, you're not great. Let me put it that way. You're just good, and you say, okay, photography is my talent. Photography is my passion. Let me go and become a photographer, and you drop school.
So, with passion, honestly, like for me personally, it's something that I know is. I feel I don't know how to explain it. I don't want to say it's a feeling because feelings can go and disappear. But I would say it's that God-given feeling. Like you know when let's say let's say for example, God calls you to be a prophet or something, and you know just deep down inside you like this is something you like this is something you just know like this is like what you're supposed to do. I don't have the words to explain it, but for me, how I recognize my passion, which I know we'll get onto like to talk about later, it was just it's like I tried everything else and I tried to ignore like this little fire inside me. It's like giving burning bush at this point, like Moses burning bush.
Funny enough, like that's the next question, basically. So, like, when did you know, or how did you like find your passion in quotes? And how did you know that this is where God wants me to be?
Yeah, it was so random. So I always start out the story like this. When I was younger, the first thing I ever wanted to do, like I thought my original passion was to be a policewoman. Like I wanted to be like a policewoman. I'm telling you, like I wanted to be like high level SWAT.
Wow.
What they do LAPD. Yeah, that's the type of person I wanted to be, bro. But it wasn't. It was just something that I was like, oh, this looks like so much fun. But it started one random day. I don't know what happened. My legs just entered my mother's kitchen, and I was pretending to be on a cooking show. And I've always loved watching Food Network and like seeing how like chefs just do their thing. And I was like, you know what? I actually like this. And this was like in primary school, which is like legit have a book where it shows like at the grade 6, I literally wrote down that my dream occupation was to be a caterer or a chef. But anyways, back to the story. And it was just like, oh my god. Yeah, primary 6. I'm like, if I have the picture, I will send it to you. But yeah, my mom just sent me a picture like I think last year, like, yo, this is something like you have been doing since you were like even before secondary school. And it was as I said, I entered the kitchen, pretended to be a cooking show, be on a cooking show, and I just made like a sandwich or something. And I was like, you know what? I actually like this is when you strike fire, like you strike matches, and that's spark, that initial spark. Yes, exactly. It was exactly like that. And from that spark, it just turned into curiosity, and I did my research, and I'm like, you know what? Like, I would actually like to do this food thing and see what's up. And that just grew into like a bush that kept burning, and it keeps burning like the Moses bush.
Yeah.
Like that's how I see it. Like exactly, it's something that just keeps burning and burning, and yeah, and throughout, and that from there, God didn't even have to tell me Ifeoluwa, like, oh, this is what you're called for, because I also feel like at a young age, God also tried to make me understand how to, trust without me hearing or me actually seeing like, oh, this is meant for me. It was just like, oh, it's like I see it as what's it called? Who's this girl that works on the gold blocks? it Alice in Wonderland? I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, those are Alison.
Yeah, so like how you follow like a gold trail, and the signs just keep leading on, and be like, oh, this is where I'm supposed to be. So that was just me on the little gold trail, and I was like, I know God hasn't particularly said, oh, this Ifeoluwa, you're called to this industry, or you're called to be a chef, but it was just something deep down in my heart that I was like, I know God planted this in me, and I always say that God will not plant an idea or a purpose or a passion inside you if it was not for like nothing. Like everything he plants, every little seed he plants into you is for something. And that little seed of me, wanting to be a chef or pursue that career was planted in me. And that was something I just carried my head up high, especially like in secondary school. And your classmates are saying they want to be doctors or financial advisors, and there's a fellow, I want to be a chef.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like the whole peer pressure in Nigeria, like as a Nigerian, is another thing, because like there's a whole thing. Everyone wants to be a doctor. Everyone wants to be now. Everybody wants to be someone based in computer and IT and everything. So you're now coming up and you're like, is there something wrong with me? Like everybody is going this way. For me, I'm just like, let me be a chef. Like,
Out of
how did you say did your mom know at that time in primary school?
Yeah, they knew, like my parents knew, and they thought it was just every small child, saying whatever just because. Before my dad died, like he would come to my class and he'd be like, oh my god, like you look at my grades, and he'd be like, oh, like are you still sure about this your chef thing? You're good in economics. Why don't you want to be an economist? I'm like, sir,
really putting it in your head.
exactly. I was like, no, this is like, I know I'm supposed to be a chef. And he's like, are you sure? Like, like even my parents said that, because they saw it as like, a small child just saying whatever, comes to her head. Like she doesn't know that obviously she doesn't want to be a chef. Like who goes to school to cook? Then also navigating that in like a Nigerian school and in a Nigerian setting, it was hard. But again, growing up with me, I'm the type of person I don't care. Like it was like I'll hear teachers say this. Did I ever tell you that one time the principal actually called me into her office, and like I was like having a meeting with teachers, and they were like, there's no way you actually like want to take this cooking thing seriously.
Wow.
I'm actually serious. This was around like when we took jam and stuff like that. And the funny thing is, for jam, I was trying to see if they have like food and nutrition. I can write for jam. And
for those that don't know, like jam is like one of the final exams you take in secondary school, when getting into university, that's college. So that's wow.
Yeah, and they called me saying that I have to be serious with life, that who wants to be a chef, blah blah blah. But Ifeoluwa, I was just looking at these people like, if God has already said something, all these things people are talking is very much, that's why I'm not even lucky. I keep grateful to God that God gave me like a very strong heart per se. Like, because again, people's words can tear people down like this. But I'm the type of person is like, oh, God said this. I don't care whatever person A or person B says. So you were about to say something.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, did you have that moment where you actually doubted that this is your passion? And like, what did you do to it?
Yes, this was actually outside Nigeria, coming to Canada.
Wow.
This was like transition from Nigeria. I left Nigeria so confident, saying that, I'm going to be a badass chef when I get to Canada. I go to Canada, start culinary school, and I start working in the industry. So I'm like 19, 18 years old at this point. And when I started working in the industry, 1 week in, 1 month in, working in a professional fine dining kitchen, I see like, that there's when you're in a place and you notice how people look at you like, this one, she's not even going to have type thing. So noticing all that and hearing the small talk there and there, immediately I got discouraged. I was like, there's no way in heaven, earth, hell that I'm called to, be a chef or do whatever. And I found it so like crazy because before working like in a like professional kitchen, I was so confident that this was something that like I'm supposed to do. But now actually being put in the scenario, I was
Mm.
like, is this something I'm supposed to do? Like I don't even know how to cut an onion. Like you see all the chefs like pa, 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 and you just see
We're going to get to that, like all your techniques. I don't know. Whenever I cut
yo,
onions, no,
it's
I cook, oh, but like
yeah.
when I cut onions, I have this fear for the for cutting my hands. You see, the professional chefs just be
I was like, that was me at first. Like, I was just see all of like moving on the line so quick, and I'm like, I don't know how to do this. I thought, when I was cooking back in food and nutrition lab for practical, and I was turning pounded yam, I was giving like Gordon Ramsay, but I get to a professional kitchen.
I won't take that. Pounded yam will forever be.
Pounded yam is a good skill. It's a good skill. It's a good skill. But again, like the transition from Nigeria to Canada is like, oh,
Yeah.
I know Nigerian food very well, but go to a professional Canadian kitchen where like the whole cooking techniques are like they're like forgot like no don't like obviously what you learn back home is important, but now we want to teach you how we cook here to appease our customer like space and stuff, because your customer space is very different, and they're like, oh, these people like this type of food, so forget your pounded yam and egusi for now. These people like this type of food, so da da da. And I also get into it. Again, the only like I love Nigerian food, and in the future, I hope to own my own fine dining space that appreciates Nigerian culture with a mix of like French cuisine as well, but still highlighting Afro Caribbean like food like everywhere. That's the type of restaurant I want to, by the grace of God, open up
Yeah,
one day.
yeah. To get into that, you were recognized by the is it the Canadian government or just tell us the story behind that.
So it was okay. So again, I'm a very hard believer in like whatever you put your mind to, you work hard and do so. And again, as I always said, like I always wanted to combine that Nigerian fusion. Like, I want people in Canada to know, because again, this is a multicultural city. I want people in Canada to know that apart from Italian food, apart from as good as Italian food is, like all food is good, but I want to introduce that Nigerian flavor into the market as well. And I got that opportunity to actually at first, the first thing is that I competed in like some competitions. First time I competed, I came second. Second time I competed, I came first. Is that English? First time I competed, I came second. Second time I competed, I went back to compete because I was like, I'm not settling for second. I must come first. So I came first. That way, my teachers got to know. Even like from the first day I entered class, I had this mindset that my teachers are going to help me. And my teachers, I like coming to Canada. I knew my teachers were going to be a very big help, because these are people who have worked in the industry for years, and they literally tell us first day of school that they're here to make open a door for us. And I know is the only people they will let through that door is people that they see as diligent enough to carry the title of like like this
Yeah.
person is serious. So from day one, I always proved myself to be serious, open to learn things. So fast forwarding, did a couple competitions. Then again, I'm outgoing as per usual. And in class, everybody knows that Ifeoluwa loves the camera. Ifeoluwa has a YouTube channel. Ifeoluwa loves to talk. But again, she's very good at what she does. So my teacher picked up that up, like from like when he first started teaching me. And one day I was in class and I got an email saying like, "Hey, do you want to be on TV on like
Wow.
Canadian broadcasting,
Like,
channel?"
Give us like a reaction. When
I
you
was
said,
like, literally, I was like, what? I literally in class, I was writing, like taking notes. I see the email bar pop up. I see phone calls coming in from like, the head of the department for like my culinary program. He's like, oh, like we need to know if you're down to do this. So I walk out of the class, and he's like, hey, like a TV opportunity opened up, and they're looking for somebody, blah blah blah. And I was like, and they were like, oh, we feel you're the perfect fit for this because we've seen how you are in the classroom, and we're seeing how like you're putting work like in your competitions, and we've heard good things about you, so we feel you're best to represent not only the school but represent like your culture on TV. And I was like, I started screaming. I walk into class, everybody's like, are you okay? And I'm like, I was like, just like so shook. And I was just like, number one, it's so cool. Like, obviously, it's so cool that I'm going to be on TV regardless. But again, I get to represent like my culture, like my
I
Nigerian.
just imagine how your mom was just like,
It was mind blowing.
wow.
Woman went numb. She was like, her jaw to the floor. And I was just like, what? Like, I get to cook pepper soup on national TV. Like, what is wrong? That is like. So I was like, okay, word. And the crazy thing is that there is like some chefs I worked with, and they were like, oh, like to introduce like a new culture into like the food scenery, it's very like not hard, but it's hard per se. And again, as I said, like I had people look down on me saying like, oh, this one she's not even going to blah blah blah. But again, I still stuck with I learned a lot in the kitchen back in Nigeria, so I'm going to keep that close to me. But hey, I'm still going to open up and learn a lot with French cuisine, and I'll see how that could also benefit me. And they did benefit me. The two did benefit me with, I learned how to chop quick. Like I know how to chop like actually quick. I know how to cook some nice French dishes. And sometimes I'm like, let me experiment and combine this Nigerian flavor with culinary. It's good. It's so good. I'm telling you.
You've done it before?
Yes, I have.
Like what meal did you combine?
So there was one time I did a tasting section at the restaurant I used to work at. So again, I like to play with Afro-Caribbean flavors.
Okay.
And there was one time I did like, I think course 2. So I did like a jerk onion, caramelized onion jam with like a beurre blanc, scallop, nigella, like teal. And people taste that and they're like, oh my God, I've never heard jerk seasoning before or something like that. Or I did like a little tasting thing where I played with like banga soup and like its flavors, but I decided to add like a little Asian influence into it and stuff like that. So it's just like playing around like that with like, I know deep down because I'm rooted so deep into Nigerian culture because I'm Nigerian. I grew up eating Nigerian food. I love that. And I see like, back in secondary school, all of us, I know they used to give us small portion of meat. But again, we were so happy to eat jollof rice on. We were still happy to, eat the fresh bread every Friday morning. We were so happy to, eat okra soup on Saturday. Like, so it was just like things like that, like seeing how like food brought people together, like Nigerian food like brought people together. I'm not saying food here doesn't bring people together, but it's like there's no harm in introducing that into a community like this, and just like going on TV and getting to represent my culture, or launching a menu or doing a tasting for like 5 people, and they're like, wow, they never knew like Nigerian flavors could play well with classical French cuisine. It's just something that is just so like, I love this. So yeah, my pounded yam skills came to play, and I'm like, I had to stay. So yeah.
Okay. So could you tell me like, so obviously Nigerians, Nigerians are in different situations as the way the country is now. So like the financial is financial stability like a big obstacle like when pursuing like passion as a Nigerian, and like
Yeah.
how do you tell like people to navigate it? Because there are many people in some situations where they particularly like they have the passion to do this thing, but then due to the whole financial situation, they don't even think about it because if they mention it to their parents,
Yeah.
or everyone just wants to do that one thing that is in quotes assured to
That is
yeah.
such a good question. Oh my days. So fun fact, not fun fact. I feel like one of the main reasons why my father or my mother didn't initially want me to pursue a career in culinary or be a chef was because chefs put in so much work, 12 hours a day, but they don't necessarily earn money, which is like crazy. So I tell people like, oh, like your chefs don't earn money, and they're like, what? Like I'm like, yeah, because number one, restaurants barely make money unless like you're a big restaurant or like you're a chain restaurant or something. But yeah, like chefs don't make money, and like obviously like having family meetings, and my dad is like look at the stats, like y'all are earning like $20,000 a year, which might be a lot like converted to like naira.
The lifestyle living there.
Lifestyle living here, $20,000 a year ain't ain't doing it for anybody. So and they were like, you need to like be settled, like can you make this a side thing? And initially, like obviously like in my journey praying to God and everything, because again as I entered the industry, not only was I discouraged by like other people looking down at me, I was discouraged by my weekly paychecks. Like, oh my God, like I just I just spent 10 hours standing in this kitchen crying in the fridge, and I'm cashing out $100 a week. Like I'm like, what? And so I'm telling God like and he was like, if you want to make it like in this industry, don't look at money. He was like, close your eyes to money, close your eyes to your funds, like close your eyes to all that, and focus on getting your skills up, because again I'm fortunate that like I have support when it comes to like my school fees, housing and stuff like that, which is not the case for everybody again, but like I'm still grateful. And yeah, it's something that you just have to kind of trust God in the process, which I know it sounds so cliche to understand, but
it is very true. Like it's not just about your passion. Yeah,
exactly.
It's more than just passion,
It is. And I always say this as like, as much as it's my passion and as much as I want to make my name, go out there, I always tell like the first thing like is on my book is that I'm doing this for God. I'm not doing this for me. One, two, again, I will always keep saying this. Be diligent in whatever you do. Never put it to the side because you don't know who is going to be watching you. Again, in class, like I come into like culinary class at 8 a.m. I'm ready to learn. I'm conversing with my teachers, asking them questions on how I can get better, like showing them all parts of myself. Like, oh, like I love cooking, I love learning, I love asking questions. I would love to, and I like having that close relationship with my teachers was a way for my teachers to notice me and be like, this girl is actually like so passionate and we see what she's doing. So why don't we send her an email saying, hey, do you want to go cook for the Prime Minister today? Hey, do you want to be on TV? Like things like that, because you never know who's watching you. And I know that, like, again, like obviously not seeing the check in your accounts can be very discouraging and want to make you to switch to something more assuring, or more stable. You just have to kind of push that. Yeah, trust God. Honestly, like just trust God, because you never know who is watching you. You never know if, like, let's say God is calling you to just wait for 30 more days for your breakthrough, but you just reached to 15 over 30 and you're like, you know what, I'm going to throw this. It doesn't even matter. I'm not like earning anything from it.
Yeah.
Think good things take time.
Yeah.
It like that's like you don't like bro. Good things take time. One, don't compare yourself to what Doctor Fumi is earning every year. Let's say Dr. Fumi is earning $100,000 and you're coming home with $30,000. Don't look at that. Just trust God in the process. That you know what, like if this is something God has placed inside me, I know one day like God got me. I'm gonna cash out very soon. So it's just like you just gotta be patient and just kind of roll with it
Yeah.
again. Especially with culinary school, because culinary school is expensive. Oh my god, culinary school is so expensive. They enter the industry and they're paying you like $16 per hour, and you're standing 10 hours a day, and some chef who wants to make everybody feel bad is screaming at you, and you're crying in the. It can get this very discouraging quick, and that's why a lot of people leave this industry, and they're like, you know what, I can't actually like survive off this. But again, as to make it to that 5%, I said it on my Instagram a few days. To make it to that 5%, you just have to keep to the side whatever people say to you. Because again, in the beginning, I had chefs tell me like you're not gonna be anything in this industry. Like some, oh my god, a chef literally gave me a timeline telling me that he gives me 3 years before I get out. I'm like, no. I'm like, what did I do to you? But like,
3 years before. Wow.
it's just like I had to. God had to.
That was when.
I'm telling you, this was like 2 years ago, a year ago.
Don't worry, I'm beating the timeline. Don't worry.
Yeah. So it's just like, and I just had to keep reminding myself that I have to shut all this out. Because imagine I did get out a year ago, I won't have, got to represent Nigeria on Canadian broadcasting. I won't have gotten to, let's say I have a great opportunity where I have to, travel to May and represent Ottawa and New Brunswick. I also have an opportunity this month to represent Ottawa again in a competition. So it's like all those things, like imagine I said, let me just put this to the side. I'm not even making cash. This chef is making me cry every two days and takes pride in making me cry. Or this chef gave me a timeline saying like, you know what, you're never gonna make it. Again, men are not the author and finisher of your faith. It's only God. Men will just say whatever, man wants to say.
Yeah.
Again, just listen to God, because at the end of it's God that is writing my story, not little Susie or little Jimmy.
Jimmy. All right. So, okay, we are running out of time, but this has been amazing. It has been wonderful. My key learning points, no matter what people say to you, you should keep going. And the thing is, you have to go with God. You don't just go alone. So we are moving with God. God is going to pull you through anything, financial, mental, physical. Without, they will give you $100 in a week.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's just my little. So do you have any charge that you want to give to the listeners? Just something light for me.
Keep your head down, focus, and listen and wait on God. Honestly, that's what I'd say. And keep pounding your yam. We love pounding. I literally ate pounded
yam. I'm expecting my pounded yam. I'm very serious. I'm expecting my pounded yam. I don't know how you're going to do it, but and I want it to be like a French stew beside it.
Honestly, I got you. Oh my god, I got you. Like my mind is already. I feel like a French beef. Let me.
The chef has.
But yes, this was lovely. This was honestly lovely. Thank you so much for having me.
Don't worry, you might be on season 2, season 3 when we're opening the Ifeoluwa Olubode restaurant.
Amen. I love this.